Hello, and thanks for joining me for this collective message. This is kind of weird because I've only done a few collective messages, maybe two, but Spirit just incessantly was replaying this song in my head from the moment that I woke up this morning, and it's 5 o'clock. It's almost 5 o'clock. No, it's past 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it finally got to a point where I was like, okay, what is this? And so I figured out that there's a collective message for you guys out there, and it's not about this is not a relationship reading. This is not a reading about two people, counterparts, anything like that. It's a message for the viewer about you. And from the song, I feel that you are speaking to somebody. So I'm going to read you the lyrics and then I'll go through the cards with you to find out what this is about. So this is a song called Weight of the World, and it's by Harper. Um, it says, "You want to take from me what does not belong to you. I'm not your enemy. Don't try to stop me from holding the crown. I swear I'm going nowhere." And the chorus says, "When the weight of the world is upon me, will you bend the knee? Or would you be crushed beneath the weight of royalty? I am the sword under the sheath. When the weight of the world is upon me, will you lend your strength? Or would you be crushed beneath the weight of royalty? I am the sword, I am your queen." Wow, I got shivers when I said I am your queen. So this is you. This is your energy that I'm reading right now. And I'll just read you the rest because it's really fast and then we'll get into it. It says, "I didn't turn my back and let you bleed. It's like a black cloud haunts me now. I can't breathe. Come for me. I swear that you won't take anything. This was the kingdom that worshipped me. Now it's the reason why I can't sleep. Now it's my hell. So when the weight of the world is upon me, will you bend your knee? Would you be crushed beneath the weight of the royalty?" There's the breakdown that says, I'm alive, bow down, turn to dust. Give me a reason to not cut you off. Bow down, turn to dust. I'll take what's left from you. This is my time now." So I'm getting the energy of somebody who is sweeter than pie and sharper than a scythe and like harder than metal, and it's really interesting. um, and again, like I knew this wasn't my message or anything. Like I like this song, but I don't really resonate with the lyrics exactly, so I didn't find a message for me in it. And that's why when it was replaying in my head, I was kind of confused until I realized that it wasn't a message for me. So, this is a person with this card here. It means kindness. This is a person who has had their kindness taken advantage of, because with justice here, this justice card in the upright, because I read uprights as the Marseille traditional tarot and reverses as the modern Rider Waite, this upright justice card specifically confirms that this person I'm speaking to, or if you're watching this about someone, whoever this reading is for, this person was taken advantage of. I feel that their kindness was taken advantage of. I feel that people took them for granted, and this card specifically confirms that there was mistreatment of them. There was an injustice against this person, and with Venus here, and I am open to love in various forms, this very much could have been that this person was wronged in some kind of love situation. Um, it's very strongly here. Venus is overseeing pleasure and sensuality. So it really feels like for a lot of you, this could be a romantic relationship where this happened. But when I asked for like I wanted to make sure that this was about one person or to you instead of about two different people. And these two cards confirmed it because it's confirming like energies, not people. And this energy in the past, there was some kind of betrayal here with the Seven of Swords. There was something had to die here, and I feel like your hope may have died at some point. Like you had to recede into yourself, you had to reflect on what happened. And with the Three of Swords here in the upright from the Marseille Tarot, it specifically means there was a painful ending or separation. So this could have been a separation that made you feel like you weren't enough, because the Two of Cups in the upright with the Mercy Tarot talks about impatience with the self, but also it can talk about impatience with when will love happen for me? When will I receive? And I feel like this person, is very much um it's showing that this person has been kind. This card talks about, somebody who uses their mind in a beautiful way. It's very Venusian in the way that they use their mind, as in they have beautiful thoughts. They think kind things about other people, and they bring kindness to the world. But there was some kind of, with the Five of Wands, there was some kind of desire for better, for a better life, to push forward, and there was stuckness. This Five of Wands represents a stuckness in terms of like your endeavors in the world, in terms of you wanting to push forward, make a name for yourself, perhaps, or just make progress in projects or careers or something like that. And it's clear from the song that the person I'm speaking to has been through so much and has really strong integrity, especially like it's really confirmed here with Jupiter heralding over, ethics and morals and moral behavior, and the higher mind. um this person has been victimized with the hangman in the traditional tarot. It's the ultimate victim card, because the hangman couldn't just get up there and tie his own leg like that. Somebody did that to him. So whoever you are, there were things done against you that, like, you got the two cards from this system of reading tarot that talk about something was done against you, something unjust. I mean, really, these are the two main cards that say that out of the whole deck, and you got them both. Something really awful was done to you. People mistreated you, or somebody very specifically mistreated you. And I see you wanting, yeah, I'm getting like shivers down my left leg. I see you, that's confirming, that somebody's very specific hurt you. It could have been an ex-partner. Libra, here in the injustice does talk about relationships, but obviously we have Venus here, and this rose quartz here. And this Chalcedony, I feel like you've been really trying to work with your inner world to purify anxieties, to release worries and stress and doubts, especially about yourself, but also about love in general, about relationships, about this Ten of Pentacles that you want to manifest. And you're actually pulling this in, because the Nine of Cups, the nines are the moon on the Hermetic Tree of Life, and the cups are the spiritual realm, and the moon really likes being there. The cup suit is a wonderful place for the moon to be, because it's that water realm, right? The moon is ruled by Cancer. And so this means that you are pulling in um your desires. The Ten of Pentacles is the ultimate happiness. I mean, it's everything encompassed. It's not just like the fulfillment of a wonderful, perhaps stable relationship. It's a lot about stability in general, groundedness in the physical world, having a home, having a family, having a partner, whatever you envision, a really positive outcome and manifestation of that pentacle suit. That's what this is. This often can talk about legacy also. So when it comes to your work and making a name for yourself, or what you want to put out there, you are actually pulling in something of like a legacy, something of a recognition for a lot of you. And it's clear that you strongly desire this ending. Sorry, this new beginning. Interesting, I said ending. So I mean, the Fool is the beginning and end. It's the 0 point. It's all possibility, because once you get to the end of the major arcana, you come back to the Fool. And with Jupiter here and Nadhala, this means like a overview, like having a perspective from a higher vantage point. So this card specifically talks about, when you're in a difficult spot, it's important to look at things from a different perspective. And the Hangman in the Rider-Waite does talk about getting a different perspective. And it's interesting because you even have the Ten of Cups here from the Rider-Waite at this side. So the thing is that the perspective change and shift will come from some kind of actually sudden ending, because the ending is not a bad ending. This is not to be confused with like a Three of Swords kind of ending. This is the sudden ending of when you have too many things going on, too many projects. What's it called? Like you have too many cakes in the oven or something like that. If you've been juggling a lot of different projects, a lot of different responsibilities, and you've just been working through many different things at the same time, there's going to be some kind of swift ending to that. And that can sometimes be like, it can take you aback, but it's never bad. It's like a lifting of burdens, actually. So let's say that you feel like you still have so much more to do, or study in a certain endeavor, and then suddenly it just ends and it's over. So this is what this is talking about, and that's really good because the person who's in this song is talking about the weight of the world being upon them, right? But that's so interesting that the cards are not reflecting a huge burden, which is very clearly showing that your burden is being lifted. There's not going to be burden. And for a lot of you, this burden or this issue could have had to do with the Five of Pentacles here, with having had issues with your assets and resources. And that really comes back to that Two of Cups, where if you're somebody who's been trying to, again, make a name for yourself, put yourself out there with your work in the world, and you might have had that kind of like impatience with yourself, especially after a painful separation or ending that could have left you disillusioned, left you feeling like you're in a tough spot. And especially this fool in this particular deck is a bit of a darker, whoops, a darker one, right? Like the setting is dark, there's kind of stormy waters, and it always makes me think of somebody who was kind of like hesitant to have a new start, especially a new start in trusting others, where it's lined up with I am open to love in various forms, and Venus being right here because of those. Because of that disillusionment with the Seven of Cups. But also this has to do with your dreams, because that also is related to Seven of Cups. And Jupiter also rules Pisces, which has to do with dreams. And there was something specific about that. Yeah, right. The Hangman is Pisces. That's why I remember. I remember thinking of Pisces and then seeing that Jupiter was right next to Pisces, to the Pisces card, and feeling that that was very synchronistic. So I definitely think that dreams are really important here. Um, and kind of like, I feel that for a lot of you, this is some kind of dream that has to do with bringing some kind of maybe altruistic or um, compassionate work, service to other people. And it's interesting because I feel the energy of somebody who is kind of like, I am really, I heard done with love. So some of you may have really felt like you were done with relationships, done with love, and then you were really focusing on your work, and then when things weren't moving as quickly as you'd like, there was this kind of frustration with the self, and also at the same time thinking like, why am I not receiving what I deserve? Because you do have this beautiful, kind, sweet self. I found it interesting that this kindness card was next to justice, which is ruled by Libra. And Libra is, it's Venusian, it's ruled by Venus, and it's very much about relating to others, really thinking of the other. But Libra also generally has this softness to it. It's kind of like, it always makes me think of somebody who's kind of soft and pink. And it's not necessarily that the person is like that, but that energy of Libra does always have that kind of energy. mm, it can be somebody who's very chatty, somebody who's very much about being social. And it's interesting because there was definitely an ending here with the coffin and the Three of Swords and the Two of Cups. Again, this can indicate impatience with like the right relationship coming into your life, a soulmate, things like this. But um, what again, like in the song, this person is very burdened, and they're talking about how they stayed true to their values and stayed kind of like pure and compassionate even through some kind of process where other people, I feel, blamed them. I'm getting shivers again. Other people blamed you, whoever I'm speaking to, whoever this reading's for. Other people blamed this person for trying to move through the world to get a new start, to get, even though this wasn't like, this person didn't have, you or whoever this reading is for, this person didn't have an easy time with starting over. There were anxieties that this person had to work through. They did not have an easy time taking a leap of faith. They were really strong, so others can fully see that, but on the inside they're this soft, mushy, wonderful, sweet person. And just because they have this really strong, hard exterior that other people might not be able to penetrate so easily, especially now, doesn't mean that this was easy for this person. And this person is magnetizing their blessings right now. They're pulling in their blessings with the Ten of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups here. The Nine specifically is magnetism. In the Cups too, this is such a positive card. With the Ten of Pentacles, again, I read reverses as Rider Waite. It doesn't mean that it's not coming. It's just a Ten of Pentacles in the Rider Waite system, and it means that there's some kind of desired outcome that's going to show up in the physical world that this person is pulling in. And it's because they're clearing their internal inner world. It's because they're clearing out their inner waters. It's because they're purifying and cleansing whatever inner conflict there was. And this Five of Wands, to come back to it real quick, talks about some kind of frustration with wanting to move forward that actually is positive, because you don't want to avoid whatever conflict that brings up, because it helps to move the energy. It's the most positive suit for the five to be in, for that Mars energy to show up in, because it's not really a super serious conflict. It's more like frustration and just like wanting to, it can be like arguments as well, but they need to happen. There's certain internal difficulties that need to be released. My teacher actually says this thing that says that's, if it's on the way up, it's on the way out. So if you have certain difficult emotions coming up, it's okay because they're being released, right? If we don't let them come out, they just fester underneath. And you're a person, or whoever this reading I'm reading for, that this reading is here for, is a person who is encouraged to release this and is encouraged to move through this, even with like physical exercise and activity and things like this that can help move that energy. Because releasing these energies, these stagnant, frustrating, even like microaggressions, is really helping to release the anxiety that is connected to getting to this new beginning, to this kind of zero point. It's like a blank slate, especially with the way that this Fool card is right next to this oracle card. This oracle card, none of there's very few cards in this deck that are like that, almost blank in color. Like you could really color this in or draw whatever on it, right? You can't really do that here. There's not that many cards that you can do that with. Like these are usually like all colored in, right? But here, like, I just see so much white. Like there's so much blank space. And even the thing is, like, it makes me think of how if this person wasn't covering their chest with flowers, their chest would just be this blank open space. And there's all this open space around them. And they're very much connected. I just got shivers again. There's all this open space around them. It's like you have, or this person has, an wide open space. It's like there's a road that's open to them. And that might be what's a little scary, is that there actually are a lot of options, or this person is realizing that there is a lot that they are going to be able to do and move toward. And it's beautiful because they are really defending themselves. They're defending their heart. Getting confirmations again, like shivers down my legs. This person is really defending their heart. And I really see that when they say, I didn't turn my back and let you bleed. It's like a black cloud haunts me now. I can't breathe. Come for me. So it's like there are people who really have it out for this person, who maybe are seeking retribution against them because they are receiving what they want. And some people, this is how they think, that if like somebody else gets something, then there won't be enough for everybody and they won't get what they want. But so this person I'm reading for, I will say you just to make it less complicated, but if this is about someone that you know, that you'll recognize, but you, the person I'm reading for, you have people who are upset about you moving toward what you deserve. But the thing is, confirmations again. But the thing is, like, you've been in this down and out spot. You know what this is like. And the reason that you have this higher perspective, and the reason that you are able to move toward this, and able to move toward this King of Pentacles, wow, I mean, really, this King of Pentacles is a super abundant one. I really love the King of Pentacles in this deck because he really talks about abundance. These strawberries are huge, and he's the ruler of his environment. It's just a garden around him, and he's, doing a handstand, which requires so much coordination and power, so much skill and discipline over time to be able to learn to do something like that. And he's wearing a crown that's just, on his head, even though he's upside down. So people think almost that you're able to do things that are just impossible to do. It's almost like magic, and they don't understand it. And that kind of drives this kind of feeling of being victimized that other people are having. But it's interesting because when I read this oracle card, it talked about, changing your perspective in order to get out of an uncomfortable situation, which the Hangman is that uncomfortable situation. And this Las Cabos, this kindness card, talks about, having those, bringing those beautiful thoughts to your mind, thoughts of kind words, kind thoughts about others, in order to, and says, and look how quickly things will change for you. And I don't feel like that's a message for you. I feel like that's the person that you are. I feel like that's the message you are giving just by behaving the way you do. But like, your actions speak for themselves, I feel like. And it's saying, there are certain people who feel like you left them behind, but you were the one who's been recovering from some kind of betrayal. You were the one who had to start over. And even if other people maybe had to do that too, who knows, that's not really indicated here. It's saying that you are showing to other people that it is possible to change your circumstances even when you're at the lowest of the low. And the thing is that I feel like what's interesting is that you have been in this kind of burdened spot, and that's what is kind of throwing me. And I feel like it's a perspective, especially because of what is here. Because again, here there's this kind of burden, right? There's this kind of, or like this frustration, this impatience with self and impatience with what's supposed to come for you, this kind of trepidation when it comes to moving toward your new beginning, being disillusioned, reflecting on the betrayals of the past, and yet you're doing the work. So I feel like, okay, I get it. The people who are or will be like thinking that you left them behind, or things just magically happened for you, or that you're just so lucky and they're not, and life is so unfair, don't see that this was your hell. This, you dragged yourself out of hell. You were the one who had so much to carry, like you had the weight of the world on your shoulders, and it feels like you were alone in that, like almost like you were just left to bleed yourself, and other people are turning it around on you, or will be saying, you just left us behind, while you walked off, waltz off into the sunset with, this and whoever might come into your life. Especially with the Ten of Cups, there's a happy home that's being shown on this card. There's a little heart on that home. So, and there's this family depicted here, King of Pentacles here. I mean, you're really coming into a seat of power, but also this is the overall energy that, like, I asked for overall energies for these two sides. Here was the Seven of Swords, and here's the Ten of Cups. I mean, day and night, right? Or night and day. Like the sun really coming out for you. And this Eight of Wands really does talk about that really positive ending of when you're overburdened and have too many things going on, especially when it comes to your projects, your work in the world. But it could also just be like your dharma, your passion, your soul's work in the world, which doesn't have to look like career specifically. And so I feel like, especially with Jupiter here, like there is this, Jupiter is the guru of the gods. So there is this kind of royalty, and it's talking about, I have this kingdom, I have all these responsibilities, all these things that I'm taking care of. Will you join me? Or are you just going to force me to cut you off? So it's almost like saying, look, I don't want you not to have anything to eat. I just don't want you eating at my table if you're going to like come for me. And you're kind of like beckoning and challenging these people to like try, because you're like, I don't, it's this strange fearlessness that comes through the energy of that song. It's kind of like somebody who's almost like lost everything and has nothing to lose, or knows what it's like. I think it's more like, like that was you. And I think it's the fact that you know what it's like to lose everything and to be so down and out, abandoned by everybody, and not have anything that can bring you back up and still pull yourself out of it. And there are certain people who want to, like, bring you down, despite the fact that this is um like you don't really fear that anymore. You know that you can pull yourself out of practically anything. But also, it feels like the people who challenge you and want to come for you for this are kind of not reflecting the kind of strength that you have built. It's kind of like a little chihuahua barking up at a big wolf, and that's your energy. Like, you may not look like some big bad wolf. You may be very petite, very small, very fairy like, and very like feminine for some of you. It doesn't have to be, but you could just be very soft in a way. And yet, I feel like there is this very sturdy, strong, like almost, there's this sharpness to you. When she says, I am your queen in the song, it made me think of the Queen of Swords immediately, completely. Like, especially because she said, um, yeah, I'm getting goosebumps all down my legs now. Because she said, uh, this was the kingdom, da da da. Now, where's the. Yeah, I am the sword under the sheath. When the weight of the world is upon me, will you lend your strength, or would you be crushed beneath the weight of royalty? I am the sword. I am your queen. So the Queen of Swords, right? You know how to put up boundaries, and that's that Libra energy again. Queen of Swords has Libra energy in it. It's the air signs. Um, you know, you're an intelligent person, but you're very much strong in your boundaries. But you also know um, not to sacrifice that softness, not to sacrifice your heart, not to sacrifice your hopes and dreams. And, again, like, you've gone through this time of being hard on yourself, being impatient with yourself in your journey, and really having those internal battles that waged war within you. Kind of this is a person who sounds like they've been through war. Um, it's just so much strength and so much power in you. And like, you're not afraid to cut off anybody who's going to try to bring you down, because this is your time. Like, you know that you deserve to rise up to the occasion, and you deserve to receive that which you've been working for so long. And to go from this Five of Pentacles to this King of Pentacles, and to be magnetizing your Ten of Pentacles and moving toward that Ten of Cups, that happily ever after wish fulfillment kind of dream energy. That's really powerful, especially because, as we started out from the beginning, you were victimized. You were there was injustice done against you. You were wronged. And there are people who may be, you know, acting like they were the ones victimized, even if they hurt you. And I feel this kind of almost like just it turns into this soft impatience. And by that I mean like, not being super like angry or frustrated, but just being kind of matter of fact, no nonsense. Like, you can either be with me or you can just go and fend for yourself. And if you try to go up against me, I dare you to come for me because I will cut you off. Are you going to force me to cut you off? Is the kind of energy that I'm getting. And it's this energy of like people realizing that they can't really force you through manipulation to just bend to their will anymore. It's this energy of, they're kind of intimidated, not kind of, they definitely are. There's people who are intimidated by this because I feel like it used to be easier, at least, to kind of manipulate your heart, to pull on your heartstrings, to play with your emotions and things like this. And now there's this energy of, you're not playing anymore. People don't get to play with you, play with your heart. And there's I just had my alarm go off, and it was a reminder to make ghee. And it's funny because ghee is clarified butter. So it's, again, there's this clarifying energy. And I also had a note about onion and garlic. And onion and garlic are these, right? They're like spicy kind of. They're what's it called? They're like stinging sort of energies. It makes me think of things like nettle, for example. So, and that's connected to Mars. So there's this like, it's interesting because you had that Five of Wands, that Mars energy, and Five of Pentacles here, and there's kind of this healthy Mars energy coming through, but there wasn't always like that. It's like you built this up. You built this up through being through your experiences, because Jupiter is the kind of wisdom and that you gain, not through, you don't learn this wisdom. You have to experience life, and life comes at you with all the tough punches and difficulties to help you learn the lessons that Jupiter is able to learn. So this wisdom, this higher perspective, this higher mind came from this difficulty that you went through, but you pulled yourself out. And so it's basically like very much confirming this is your time. You are magnetic toward this. You are guided and encouraged to clarify and keep transmuting the anxieties and the pain and difficulties of the past, because you do have this strength, you do have this power, and it's very well deserved. And when it comes to all the things that were done against you, calling on divine justice is encouraged, as claiming divine justice for things to be balanced out. You don't have to wish anything bad upon anyone. That's not what's being encouraged. It's just saying, get that justice for yourself, because some things that were lost will be returned to you multiple fold. And sometimes there is certain karmic balancing out that needs to happen, but we don't need to like know about that. We don't need to know like what happens exactly. We just need to know that spirit is on it, and that that nature always finds a way to balance things out. And when it comes to the Hangman, this is really talking about the fact that it's like there isn't really anybody who can actually take anything from you that is meant for you. Like, it's about that changed perspective of, when you see that what's meant for you is yours, it will not pass you by. What you've worked for will come to you. It kind of takes away the fear of missing your shot and things like this, or that the things you went through were for not, that they were in vain. And this is reiterating, like, no, your power lies in spirit, and spirit has power over this situation. So turn to that inner guidance, turn to that perspective of seeing things um, through the lens that spirit is able to pull you out of this, and spirit is what has been guiding you through this all along, and that justice is something that you deserve and will receive. And what it looks like is that your justice is you're coming into your power, you're pulling in your dreams, your burdens will be ending, and you're going to be very much in charge of your environment, very much stable, very much royal, to be honest, in some kind of position of power, but empowered, not tyrannical power, but a position of a person who has built up so much inner strength and has this natural leadership, guru of the gods. You know, it takes a lot to be in such a position. This is something that you worked for, that didn't just come to you by itself. So that's what I have for you. Thank you so much for coming to this reading. I'm curious who this resonates with, so feel free to leave me a comment, and I'll see you in another one. Bye.